Hello, I am George Chironis, Director of Business Services for the Lake Geneva Schools. I manage the finance and facilities for both the Lake Geneva Joint 1 School District, our K-8, and the Lake Geneva Genoa City Union High School, better known as Badger High School. I want to thank you for taking your time today to learn more about school finance and how it impacts our districts. Let's begin with funding. The majority of Wisconsin public school funding comes from the revenue limit. Revenue limits limit the amount of revenue a district can receive through property taxes and Wisconsin's equalization aid. This is our 3-year rolling average multiplied by the amount per pupil, which gives us our revenue limit. So those total dollars are made up from both the local tax dollars and what the state of Wisconsin is able to provide in equalization aid. As stated, the majority of school funding comes from the revenue limit. Here is a graph of the Lake Geneva Joint 1 resident enrollment. As we talked about, the 3-year rolling average multiplied by the amount per pupil gives us our revenue limit. So as our years continue, it adjusts due to our enrollment. We have forecasted these estimated numbers from an applied population study. Current Wisconsin educational funding. Wisconsin state biennium budgets determines the amount the public school can have in their revenue limit as an increase or decrease. In 2021-2022, there was a $0 increase in per pupil revenue. In 2022-23, also was a $0 increase in per pupil revenue. The current biennium, 2023-2024, will have a $325 increase per pupil revenue, and the 2024-2025 school year will also have a $325 increase in per pupil revenue. The no per pupil increase in revenue between 2021-2023 was especially impactful due to rising costs in utilities, transportation, and material due to inflation. Both districts have relied on one-time ESSER funds for recurring costs, and once they are gone, the recurring expense still remains. These funds will be exhausted by June 30th of 2024. The current school funding formula for education in the state of Wisconsin has not kept pace with inflation. Per pupil aid with inflation adjustment for Joint 1 school district is shown here. The green bars show the per pupil inflation adjustment if tied to inflation. Blue bars represent the actual per pupil adjustment. The red bars show the cumulative impact. Annual per pupil revenue limit adjustments and increases in per pupil categorical aid have consistently lagged annual inflation. The $325 per pupil aid does not make up the difference felt from 2020, 2021 to the present. This is a shortfall of over $1,000 per pupil. If we take the per pupil of $1,000 and multiply it by 1,700, we're looking at a shortfall of $1.7 million. In summary, the current school funding formula for education in the state of Wisconsin has not kept pace with inflation. The school districts are experiencing declining enrollment, and it is anticipated to continue to decline over the next few years. Like many school districts in Wisconsin, we are facing budget constraints. The districts have experienced rising costs in utilities, transportation, and materials. Both districts have relied on one-time ESSER funds. However, these grant funds will be exhausted by June 30th of 2024. We are concerned that without additional funding, it will be difficult to maintain current programs and services for our students. I want to thank you for taking your time today to learn more about school finance and how it impacts our districts. And if you would like to learn more, please visit the district website